Hare Krishna. We're continuing to read from Bhagavad Gita as it is. We're on chapter 7, Knowledge of the Absolute. We have been reading the text 3. We started with the purport. So we'll just read the translation. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So we're going to continue read the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the primeval Lord Govinda, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. So this is what Lord Brahma is saying in his Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. That Krishna, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's the original personality of Godhead, the primeval Lord. And he's the cause of all causes. It is very difficult for the non-devotees to know him. Although non-devotees declare that the path of bhakti or devotional service is very easy, they cannot practice it. If the path of bhakti is so easy as the non-devotee class of men proclaim, then why do they take up the difficult path? Many people say, what? You just have to hear and chant and dance, that's all. No, this is too easy. This is for lower class people. I'm going to engage in the study of Vedanta Sutra. That is more difficult, so I'm going to do more difficult. But if bhakti was so easy, people would take it up. They would take it up. Actually, the path of bhakti is not easy. The so-called path of bhakti practiced by unauthorized persons without knowledge of bhakti may be easy. But when it is practiced factually, according to the rules and regulations, the speculative scholars and philosophers fall away from the path. So actually, because many people say that, I'm going to take up the path of mental speculation, empirical philosophy, all those are more difficult. Bhakti is very easy, so I'm not going to do it. Actually, bhakti is very difficult. Why? Because there are rules and regulations. And we work for something. Why? Because we want to get the result. And in bhakti, we are being told, you work, but you work for the pleasure of Krishna. We are always like to do, I will work, but I want to get the result of the work. Bhakti, they're telling us, you work, but you give the result to Krishna. Is that easy? It's not easy, because we are so attached to the result of the work. But we have to come to this point. We have to, by following in the footsteps of the previous devotees. Mahajano yena gata sapanta. They have made the path easy for us. Or when we follow their footsteps, then the path of bhakti becomes easy for us. So Srila Rupa Goswami writes in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.101. Shruti Smriti Purana De Pancharatra Vidindina Aikantiki Hare Bhakti Utpatayeva Kalpate. Devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Narada Pancharatra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. So somebody will say, I am a bhakta. But if a person is a bhakta, he has to be following the previous bhakta. Who has to be following the previous bhakta? Bhakti comes from bhakti, following the previous devotees, and should be grounded in the scriptures, in the Shastra. Anyone who says that I'm doing bhakti, but I don't follow any of the Vedic literatures, authorized Vedic literatures, like the Upanishads, Puranas, Narad Pancharatra, then they're just creating a disturbance in society. Disturbance in society. So if we are not following the scriptures, we are becoming a disturbance to society. And that's the reason we should really take up the study of the scriptures so we can understand what's the truth. How am I supposed to act? How am I not supposed to act? It's all given to us in the scriptures. The more we study it, the more we will understand it. So it's not that anyone says, I manufacture my own path of bhakti. No, we have to follow the scriptures, what is given to us by the authorities. It is not possible for the Brahman realized impersonalist or the Paramatma realized yogi to understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the son of Mother Yashoda or the charioteer of Arjuna. Even the great demigods are sometimes confused about Krishna. Muyanti yat suryaha, mam tu veda na kaschana. No one knows me as I am, the Lord says. And if one does know him, then sa mahatma sudurlabha. Such a great soul is very rare. So Krishna himself is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, it is very difficult to understand me. We may say, yes, I know Krishna, I know, he was there, some cowherd boy, and he was playing with the gopis, and he had this pastime and stole some butter. And I know maybe he was some mystic yoga. Oh, I know he was a king, in the Yadu dynasty. Or, I know it's just mythology, some kind of thing is there. So Krishna is saying that no one knows him actually. And we can see really not many people know Krishna. And he says, if someone knows Krishna, sa mahatma sudurlabha. If someone really knows Krishna, then that Mahatma, that personality is a Mahatma, a great soul. And such a personality is very, very rare. Very rare. What does he say? Knows me as I am, means to understand Krishna's position. What is Krishna's position? And Krishna says, I can be known only by devotional service. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. It's only by devotional service that one can understand me. Krishna is saying all this in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, unless one practices devotional service to the Lord, one cannot know Krishna as he is, tatvataha, even though one is a great scholar or philosopher. So it's by bhakti. So we may be a great philosopher, we may think, oh wow, I have so much knowledge, I have studied Acess, I have so much grammar and I have so much in logic and nyaya and grammar, and I'm such a great scholar. But if I've not engaged in bhakti, I am not going to understand the absolute truth, because the absolute truth himself is saying, if you want to understand me, you have to engage in bhakti. And it's only by bhakti can you understand me. Only the pure devotees can know something of the inconceivable transcendental qualities in Krishna. His being the cause of all causes, his omnipotence and opulence, and his wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, because Krishna is benevolently inclined to his devotees. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that as you surrender to me, I reveal myself. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajami aham. He's saying, as you surrender to me, I will reveal myself. So the pure devotees, they are surrendered to the Lord. And so only the pure devotees can know something of Krishna. Even the pure devotees cannot know Krishna in full. Why? Because Krishna is unlimited. He's unlimited. God's potencies are unlimited. So the pure devotee can understand Krishna to the degree that Krishna wants them to know him. It's by the mercy of Krishna that we can understand Krishna to the degree that Krishna wants us to know of him. So we can see, if we really want to understand Krishna, we need to surrender to Krishna, and he will reveal himself to us as much as we need to know. As much as we need to know. Krishna has inconceivable transcendental qualities. Inconceivable. He's near, yet he's far. It's inconceivable. How can you be near and yet you are far away? How is he near? He's Paramatma in our heart. How is he far? Because he's sitting in the spiritual world in Goloka Vrindavan. So he has these inconceivable energies, potencies. He's omnipotent. And all his qualities are transcendental. Krishna is the cause of all causes. We have been hearing in the Bhagavatam that how this material world is being created by him. How the spiritual world is his creation. Everything is Krishna's creation. How all the wealth, okay, we may have some wealth. Someone may have more wealth, but who has all the wealth? Who is that person who has all the wealth? That's Krishna. Fame. Someone may be more famous than the other person, but who's the one who's the famous amongst everyone in the material world, in the spiritual world? That's Krishna. Strength, the strongest, it's Krishna. The most beautiful, that's Krishna. Knowledge, he has the most knowledge and he's the most renounced. In spite of having such opulences, he's not attached to them. We get a little wealth or knowledge or beauty or fame or strength, how puffed up we get. I have this, I have this. We get attached to these opulences. Krishna, he's not. He's completely renounced. So by his grace, he reveals himself to the devotees. And it's only the devotees that can understand Krishna. He is the last word in Brahman realization, and the devotees alone can realize him as he is. Krishna, Arjuna, he says to Krishna, "Yo Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Idam." He says that in the 10th chapter, that you're the Para Brahman, you're the source of the Brahman. So Krishna is the source of Brahman. That's why he's called last word in Brahman realization. If we want to understand Brahman in full, we will come to Krishna, because Krishna is the end of all knowledge, is to know Krishna. End of all knowledge is when we reach Krishna. So only the devotees can realize him as he is, means can realize him in truth, not making up something, not manufacture something. According to me, I assume it should be like this, it must be like this. No, trying to understand the truth as the truth is without putting our mental speculation or misinterpretation in it. Therefore it is said, Ata Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grayam indriye sevan mikhehi jivado swayam eva spurati adaha. So this is, no one can understand Krishna as he is by the blunt material senses, but he reveals himself to the devotees, being pleased with them for the transcendental loving service unto him. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.234. So Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he says, no one can understand Krishna as he is by blunt material senses. Right now, our senses, these are dull senses. These are not our real senses. The eyes that we are seeing or the ears that we are hearing from. These are just material elements. They are just material elements. But when we engage these senses in the service of the Supreme Lord, Sevan Mukhehi Jivado Swayam Eva Smriti Adaha, then when we are engaging our senses in the service of the Supreme Lord, which begins by the tongue, then the Lord, he is pleased by us and he gives us knowledge, transcendental knowledge, by which we revive our love for him. It's when we attract his mercy, we are attracting his grace by engaging in his service, then he reveals himself to us. So we are completely dependent on Krishna. We're completely dependent on Krishna, on his causeless mercy. And a pure devotee, Krishna is very pleased with them. But Krishna is not ungrateful. He's never ungrateful. And Krishna is pleased with the pure devotee and he reveals himself to the pure devotee then. He reveals himself. That is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is the loving relationship between the pure devotee and Krishna. It's a relationship which is based on love, pure love. We don't even know what pure love is. But this relationship between the devotee and Krishna is based on love. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll stop here for today. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.